So the property is used to specify how the background image should scroll within their element. Should scroll when their element is scrolled. So for example, we can say, okay, we want the background attachment to be fixed. So when we say want the background attachment to be fixed, whenever you are scrolling this image, you can see that even with this small scroll, whenever we are scrolling it, the image is not scrolling. The image is not scrolling. But once we set it to scroll, the image will scroll along. So let me try and increase this height. Let me see 120 viewport height. You can see that the image is scrolling along with it. The image is scrolling along with it. But let's try fixed again. So let's see how the fixed work. Say fixed. So let's start. You can see once I begin to scroll. Okay, let me place it at the center so we can really see this clearly. Background position, we want it to be center. Center, you can see. So let's begin. Let's start from there. You can see when we are scrolling, the image is always staying fixed. Okay, let me add the background color. So background color is when you want to give the background the color. Let's say background color of red. And you see that the image is staying fixed even though while we are scrolling. But once we change this background attachment to scroll, the image will scroll along with the background, with the red background. And you see the image is also scrolling along with it. So that's the way background attachments work. So out of all these properties we've written now, we can decide to use a shorthand form. There's a shorthand form, and shorthand form is equivalent to this. So we can just say background. So for the background, we can now write the image URL first. So let's comment all these out and let's write them in shorthand form. So we have car, that's the image URL. Okay, let's save this so we can see a blank screen. Okay, so let's start from there. So let's add the color first. So we have red. So we have the background beneath the image because the image is very big currently. So now the next thing we want to add is the position of the image. We want it to be, let's say 50%, because 50% by 50% is equivalent to saying center. 50%. Then the next thing we want to add is the background size. So the background size is 30% by 30%. Then we don't want it to repeat. No repeat. No repeat. Then we can also add the attachment, which is what to scroll. So let's see. So you can see. So this is shorthand form for writing the image. So all the things we wrote initially, you can see we've tried to recreate it again. We place the image at the center. We said we want the image size to be 30% by 30%. We don't want it to repeat, and we should scroll. So we can also say, okay, we don't want it to scroll anymore. We want it to be fixed. So you can just do fixed. So once we add this now, the image doesn't scroll anymore. You can see the image is fixed. So that's the shorthand form for writing background image. And we can also add multiple images to this screen. Multiple background image. You can decide to add multiple background image. So add multiple background image. You can just say, okay, let's try and download another image. Let's look at what image can we download again? Let's see. Okay, let's download this road. Yeah, okay, let's download this. Okay. So let's rename this image road. I just name it road because that's what we see currently. Let's close this. So to attach multiple background image, so rather than using this semicolon, what we just do, you just add them comma, then you import the next image you want to add with the URL syntax. So we have this, we have slash. This time around we want to add road.jpg. so where do we want to position it? We don't want to position it at the center. Let's position it at the top, top right corner. So how do we write that? By using percentage. We can decide to say, okay, we want to use the keyword format, but let's use on the x-axis. You can say we want it to be by 0%. On 100%, that takes it to the end of the screen. To remain at the top on the y-axis, we can just use 0%. So what's the size of the image? We can decide to say we want it to be 30% by 40%. No repeats. We can also say we want it to be fixed. So let's save this. You can see. So we have two background images. So let's try and add the color here again. See if it will work. You have red. Okay. So let's return the fixed here too. Let's see if it will work. Okay. That's cool. Can see. Even though the background is closing, the two images are still fixed. Fixed. So let me remove the red here and let me add it back to that side. Let me see why it wasn't showing the other time. Let's save first. Let me add the red here. Okay. So that means when adding two images, I'll just add the background color to the next. So we have two background images. So let's reduce the size of the first image. So we just want it to be at the top right hand. So let's say the top right hand will be 100% on the y and the x axis and 0% on the y axis. So that should put it on the top. So the size, let's use it. We don't want it to be contained. We want it to be 40% by 30%. You can see. So on the top left hand, so let me scroll the images there. So that's